What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Smoove Conversations with your host, DJ D Smoove. I got a phenomenal special guest with me today. Guess what, y'all? It is T3 Music.
We're in the house. We were so glad to be here.
How y'all doing today?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Yes, sir. And I hear that accent already. We're going to get into that. I cannot wait.
I love
Gentlemen, y'all energy is so phenomenal. Thanks for brightening up the room, brightening up the day. And thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. T3 Music.
Yeah.
What do you guys do? What do y'all represent? And what is T3 Music? What is it?
Well, I can start that one off. Really, we just we're a bunch of guys getting together, playing some good music. We have this idea of bringing a classic R&B, hip hop as our main genre. We can play just about everything. We have three of us. There's actually I'm a manager, but we have three amazing members compiling really six members as a whole. But we play some things with a drummer, a DJ, and an MC. And those three in combination really make fantastic music. So we're excited.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. What started that idea?
Well, it was me, actually. I had the idea. I was down in Dallas visiting with my family. Originally from there. And I was reminiscing about the time frame. Been in Utah now about almost 25 years.
Yeah.
But back there visiting with my brothers, we went to this place on a Saturday, middle of the daytime. They call them day parties down that way. And it was about 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. This DJ, a drummer, and an MC from the radio station was out there. And they were really making a live party at this restaurant. There's a patio deal. Mm-hmm. People were buying drinks and buying food and really having a ball. The DJ was playing just some classics. He played some Snoop. He played some. He actually played Regulate, but he went back to the Doobie Brothers. I think it was. Yeah. I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
He put that one in and he rolled it right into Regulate. I said, oh my gosh. And the drummer beat right to the beat. I said, this is fantastic. And the MC was like, hey guys, you feeling this? It make you feel alive. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, that's great. Can I duplicate that in Salt Lake? So that's what I decided to do. Got some guys together, did some Indeed ads and different things and pulled some people together. And Jason, I mean, not to speak too highly of him yet, but this guy right next to me, we don't know what we got. This guy is an amazing drummer.
Tell me about him. Tell me about him.
Okay. So Jason, you take it away, man.
Okay, what's up, Jason? Hold on, before y'all go, I gotta point out y'all shirts now because y'all came in here representing.
That's right.
You came in, like you said, you got the idea from Dallas, but you're also wearing a Cowboys
shirt right here.
That's right.
I'm a fan, through and through.
And so am I. Yeah.
When they're winning, yeah.
And then we got my man Jason over here representing New York City.
Yes.
And you're the drummer too.
I am. So I've recently moved back to Salt Lake from New York. So I was there for 30 years. And I was very fortunate to hook up with Terry. And this is very interesting because when he told me about this T3 idea, mm-hmm. I had spent a little time living with my son out in California. And this one night, he had a party with his work buddies and all the people in his office, and he comes in and he says, "Hey, Dad, well, you get your drums out and just come play, mm-hmm. right?" And I'm like, "What do you want me to play? I don't know what I'm gonna. He says, "Well, look, we'll set up in the front room. I'll just use songs from my phone or whatever." I said, "What songs?" He says, "I don't know." And he said, "Just come out. They want you to play." And so we set up my stuff in he had this big living room with this huge sound system. And so he was just randomly playing all these songs and I was just drumming along to him. But these are like mid 30-year-old bunch of kids, and they just loved it, Mm-hmm. And so I thought, you know what? Maybe this could be a thing, and it can be pretty entertaining.
Yes.
And then Terry came along and we connected, and I just thought, I know this idea can work.
Yes. Yeah. That was it, man. That was the magic of it. And when I went and met with him for the first time, it's kind of like testing out the drummers. I figured I wanted to find my drummers first.
Right.
I could find some DJs, I think, to pick up drummer or MCs. But then the drummer piece was they had to be able to coordinate and have the timing and tempo to match with some beats and be familiar with some good classic R&B and hip hop. Not everybody is in our great state of Utah. So a few people are. Jason got behind the drum kit, and I swear, man, I think we stepped into Mozart's like his composium right there. It was fantastic. Really
Take
good
one.
Stuff. Yeah, for real. Yeah, right on the top. So yeah, it's really good, impressive.
That's cool. Well, I appreciate y'all sharing that. Now I want to get a little bit more into like y'all background of the reason why. So starting with you, Jason, like what got you into drumming? What was the whole story behind where your passion came from drumming?
Well, I was interested in drumming from a very early age. back in the day, there was this TV show, and this TV show host, his name was Johnny Carson.
Okay.
And Johnny Carson was a drummer, and he often had drummers on his show. And he was a good friend of Buddy Rich. And so Buddy Rich was on the show, and I remember seeing, different drummers on TV. And then back then, you'd go to places like Lagoon, you'd go anywhere. There were these live bands.
Right.
And they were playing the stuff that was on the radio at the time, and so my first, since I was 6, I've had, drum pads and sticks in my hands, and then this one Christmas, and here was this nice shiny red drum set, and so ever since then, I was always active in school band and through junior high and high school and through college, I worked at a big music store.
Yeah.
And taught lessons, and I was able to study with a lot of great players.
Wow.
And then a call came. This was 1993.
Okay.
And this friend of mine from New York just said, "Hey, I got this call, and they're looking for somebody." And so I talked to him, and it was the musical director for a show called the Big Apple Circus, and I thought, oh man, a circus. But anyway, he sent me this music, and so I would be the drummer in the band. And so anyway, I sent him some recordings I had, but it was all this jazz stuff. And so he's like, oh, I need you to play some more like R&B or funky stuff. And so we were talking on the phone. So I put the phone down. And now back then they had these phones and they had cords. It was crazy. You couldn't see the other person when you were talking. It was the weirdest thing. But I put the phone down. And I'd play something, and then he'd come back. Oh, that was great. Now play some of this, So I put the phone down, play something, come back. Great, buy the ticket. So in 2 weeks, I sold my PA. I sold a bunch of equipment to pay for the plane ticket. Flew out to New York. We rehearsed for like 7 hours in Joan Jett's rehearsal studio. And then we went on the road, And then I flew home when they had a break, and my wife had packed up all the house, and we had moved out there. And so it was. We ran away with the circus. You may not believe me, but that's why I look like this.
That's how you did it. Right.
That's a phenomenal story, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
And so then in New York, that's where I went to other music school. I went to the University of Utah for an undergrad, but then I went to the State University of New York, and I got a master's in jazz, and then I went to the City University and got a master's in music ed.
Wow.
And I started teaching. I was a middle school band teacher for over 20 years, and so
good for you.
Anyway, now I'm back and hooking up with you guys. And so,
The story. That's deep. Appreciate you sharing.
You're talking with a guy is a wealth of knowledge, not only in just music genres in general, but has a skill set to be able to teach it. And I've been with a lot of people that can play very well, lots of things, do lots of things.
Yeah.
But the ability to teach it is a next level, man. If you can teach somebody, I also train martial arts to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I've been with some guys that are really, really bad. They're really awesome at doing their stuff. When it comes to teaching, it's like, oh my gosh, this guy can't teach a lick because it's different levels stuff. So when you have a guy that can all just play and teach, it's a miracle, man. So we're lucky to have him.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. So going back to T3 real quick. So you guys are a unified group. I see y'all out in the communities.
Right.
Is there anywhere in Utah that you guys specifically focus on, or are y'all statewide? Tell us a little bit more about y'all.
Yeah, so right now we're looking at all venues, all things in the state. We even look, maybe Jason got our eye looking outside of the state.
Yes.
We're looking at some fun stuff, corporate events, weddings, private parties, things such as that we want to be a part of. So it's kind of our first launch. We launched in September, kind of gathering the people, but this has been our year. So this summer is really getting our feet wet, getting the community. Wherever there's a fun function, we want to be a part of it.
Yeah. Did you just say y'all launched in September?
We found our people. We actually started recruiting in September. January. Kind of our first time getting out.
So just had your 1 year anniversary.
No, not quite. No.
Oh no, just this past.
I see what
January.
you're saying. You launched officially this past. Congratulations!
Yeah,
there you go.
So it's very new.
Maybe 6 months old.
Man, I couldn't. And the reason I asked, I couldn't tell. Y'all been out and about.
Yeah.
I see you posting videos often. I'm like,
that's right.
Okay, this group has been together for a while.
We're doing great. Our words
good.
getting out there, videos getting out there. About 10,000 followers plus on Instagram. We're reaching people. They want us to come, and so maybe this is a plug for us, man. We love to go out to your venue, go out to any spots that are out there. You guys are hosting an event. We'd love to be a part of it.
100%. I love that.
Love it. Yeah.
Jay, you was about to say something.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Oh, Terry's got a daughter who's very technically capable. she's done an incredible amount of work for the group and in getting us out there. But yeah, I think our first actual gig was like January 2nd. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
It's really
Wow.
snowy
Fresh.
day, you know.
That's right.
But it was just great, you know. Personally, I mean, and we videotape everything, and you know, we're studying stuff up, and you know, and I think the very first things that we did were like better than those first videos that you ever sent us from.
Absolutely.
Wherever
Oh,
it
yeah,
was, you know,
okay.
and we're just like, I'm like, all right, we're going to take this to another level
That's
here.
true. That's true. So again, I told you my inspiration was this group that I saw down in Dallas.
Right.
I think we can meet and exceed what they offer. So yeah, we have a vision. We have a vision of this being taking over Utah as being a kind of a live integration of live drums and the DJ.
Yes.
So it's really cool. And the MC person, I mean, we do some things like, hey, whose birthday is out there? Who's celebrating this? Let's get form a line dance. I mean, just kind of that interactive piece, which the DJ kind of does on his own, but why not have a separate person? So this kind of, it works out really well.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch on that just real quick because I just saw a video that you posted on Instagram, and it had your MC shouting out someone in the crowd who just got married.
That's right.
And
that's right.
she called him up to the front, or whatever whatever the words were. The DJ ended up playing a song. The drummers then,
Absolutely.
and then y'all put on a whole party for just this couple that just got married.
And I tell you, man, people want to feel special, and that was what it was. It was they had just got married, and the MC to recognize that, call them up, and it's like, yeah, everybody. I don't think you can ever give anyone enough pat on the back for doing something cool. So that's what we did for them, and all that type of stuff is what the MC does. Yeah, so it orchestrate the crowd every 20 minutes. It's more of a show than a DJ set. Is what it looks like. Yeah.
Right. I think that's what's unique about it. Is it crosses some lines and connects them, you know, which only music can do in a lot of senses, right?
Sure.
But in this case, I think we're really combining live music with DJ. I think the strictly DJ era, you know, through the 90s, it was so popular. And now I think people still love it, but they want something more, or it's got to be different. And live music is having a huge resurgence, right?
Yeah.
In its own way. And so to combine the two, it's fun because, like Terry said, we can do so many different styles of music.
Right.
That's very hard to do with live bands. And it's simple, you know, because there's only three of us. I mean, I'm the one that has by far the most equipment, so I'm the one that slows us down. But it's simple, and you can hear the music that you're familiar with, but there's a live element. And with me, you're not going to be familiar with it. I mean, I'm like, you know, I'm adding a very different element to it, but we're having fun.
There aren't too many songs in the world that Jason can't play, and if he knows it, it's like, oh my gosh, it's awesome. So I've kind of instruct the drummers, play true to the song until they feel comfortable just going ham, do whatever they got to do. And when he does his piece, it is like, oh my gosh, that's the element that needs to be brought into every song. Almost like some of the live rappers now are having a live band behind them.
Oh, yeah.
They do a tiny desk type of deal or a front porch. That's the element we're bringing to a live venue. It's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Jay just one more time, Jason. When we was pre-show, I played a song. You heard it for literally less than 5 seconds, and you already had a drum pad beat to it already. Well, how do you pick up music so fast?
Well, I've been doing this a very long time. And so a lot of stuff that I learned by ear, but I also learned to, you know, read music as well too. But I'm a jazz drummer, and so I improvise. But when you study jazz even a little bit, you'll really get into a lot of different genres and a lot of influences that came into that, and a lot of that is the Latin stuff and Afro-Cuban stuff, and those kind of rhythmic things are just so cool. And so you get familiar with that, and then you recognize it when you hear it. But then, you know, when you've learned and you've used that kind of stuff, you can use them in different ways, which is what you've done with that song is great. And so it's fun to combine those elements, to combine, you know, stuff that the song is about and the basic things or the traditional, you know, approach to it. But then let's put some of this other flavor in here. And then people are like, oh, I haven't heard it done that way before. And it's fresh to them. Right. It's fresh to you. You know, everybody wins. And that's what Terry's just saying. It makes an experience more than just like, oh, it's a DJ, they're playing music.
Right,
oh,
right,
wait a
right.
minute, we got to stop and check this out.
Exactly.
You know.
The couple of cool things, I'll bring up a couple of songs. One of them in particular, my favorite, is Michael Jackson, I Want to Rock With You.
Okay, classic. Yes,
Oh
sir.
my gosh. It's from the Off the Wall album. And we do that one. The beginning of the song has that that drumming.
Yep.
It sends chills, bro. I go, wow, it's so great. I know.
Right, you know how it is. I mean, we've been listening to the song for 50 years, and it still gives us chills, right?
It
I mean,
is. And we want people in the audience to recognize it and go, oh my gosh, that's my song, and almost mouth the lyrics as well. So if they can feel that, then there's a connection that way. And the MC goes, oh my gosh, that's my jam. So we're thinking it. The MC actually says it. It's a perfect flow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that.
We've had some very fun performances. I mean, we played at that an outdoor that car.
Over now, yeah, we can say it, the handlebar.
The handlebar.
The handlebar.
Okay.
Oh gosh, that's a fun place,
Yeah.
man. But I don't know. The sound was really good that night, and we were set up kind of close and facing each other, and the crowd was.
Oh man.
A lot of friends of the guys had come in, and you know, Sammy's very he's very in tune with my whatever I'm playing, and he's at the same time he's in tune with the crowd, you know, or like, okay, so, and you know what he plays next, you know, it flows very well, and
Sammy calls it, and you probably know this term, is just reading the room. As a DJ, you have to read the room and find out what's vibing, what's not, take off what's not, and put on what's on, and things like that. Yeah, our DJ is awesome with that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then Jesse is just this natural personality. That's I think who you saw,
MC.
and it's just effortless for her to just be this front person. I mean, yeah, and so she got a hold of. I don't remember what song it was, but I got to be. And she had my little shaker.
Yes.
She was doing this thing, right? And then, okay. And so, well, this particular shaker I have, it's, it comes apart in two pieces. And I said, you could take that apart. And she's like, what? And so while the song's going, you know, so I just keep sort of playing, and I unscrew this thing, and she goes, oh, wow. You know, so she had these two shakers, and then she starts flipping out. Everybody's just laughing, you know.
It was so good.
And
now,
it's just.
mind you, at that moment, Jason puts down one drumstick. His feet are still going, his hands are going to hand, and show her how to do it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, come on.
Expert.
But you know, it's cool to like to have, you know, the music playing. I mean, I can play with it, but we have some freedom at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it's more of a show, and it the idea at first you may think, okay, well, that's kind of weird, a drummer and a DJ, you know, but if you come check it out, it works. It's really quite entertaining. You know, people on the street stop, and we were playing downtown. And
That's true. Yeah. I love it. No, it's a really good vibe.
So you guys do street concerts as well too?
Yes, we have done a couple.
Tell me about it.
Hired on by the city, Salt Lake.
Okay.
We've done some things with the open street markets down there. It's been really fantastic. Yeah.
Is that Salt Lake focused?
Right now, because they're doing the open street, they're blocking off for the month of June, the weekends, Friday and Saturday. But we're open to all of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
we're playing there Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday too. So this Saturday we'll be doing some things down that way. So
Okay.
excited. Look for us.
What makes a band gel? You know, there's so many different personalities. You know, more than one person. I feel like I gotta see what the other person is thinking. How does a band gel so well together to be able to continually perform with each other?
Oh, it just comes down to the good old phrase, attitude is everything.
Ooh.
And so one thing that I always tell my students I'm an expert in are bands that just don't work. I know really well what not to do or what ruins a band. And most, you know, when everybody in the band has an attitude, now seriously, it sounds cliche, but when you have an attitude of gratitude, right? And we've talked about this, that when everybody has that, then you have this baseline respect, and then you do what musicians have to do all the time, listen.
Right.
And when everyone's listening, that's when people can do what they do, other people respond, the thing turns into this musically magical thing that music is supposed to be.
For sure.
And so it's the times that when we are not listening or we are concerned more about our own part or our own sound or whatever, and so we're not paying attention to anybody else, I'm not paying attention to how loud I'm playing or whatever, you know. And then that's when things fall apart. But when everybody has the right attitude, and especially when, oh, I'm just happy to be here. Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
We're so happy that you're
Makes a
here.
big difference.
And that is one thing Terry's been very good about creating with this group is an attitude of, we're so happy to have you here.
Yeah.
And that's been tough for me, actually, to come back from New York here. I come back to my hometown, and I don't know, am I home? You know, and so
true.
it's those times, and I think we all feel that way at different times.
Yeah.
And I think one real human need that we all have is just to be included, and to feel like you're at home,
That's
right?
deep, man. No, you're right.
And
You're right.
and so, you know, it seems so easy, but those situations are hard to find.
That's
True.
Right?
It's true.
And so when it's just a lovely thing to be invited, you know, to be included, to be, oh, we're so happy you're here. And
Yeah. What I found too with that as well is that you find your tribe. You find people that kind of gel with what you like, and that was my first search: is people that they gotta like music, not just to play mechanically.
Yes.
But can you feel it? Can it move you? I saw a movie recently with my son. It was Pharrell Williams' movie. It was Legos. These Lego characters, and he says that he said, I as a youth heard music and I saw music in colors, and I thought that every person saw music in colors. He said not everybody does, but when you find some people that do, it's like harmonious. You see the same way, you feel the same vibe, it moves you. And I think that's right. That's what it should be.
That's deep.
Yeah,
That's deep. You have something else here, Jay?
oh, that's exactly right. You know,
Okay.
a lot of time we think of music, we think of harmony, we think of chord structures and colors, different types of chords, jazz that I call backwards, you know, and then people would say, oh, you can play backwards too. Oh, great, you know, and then it's fun,
Nice.
you know.
yeah.
So
I got a question for you, Terry.
Sure.
Jason already brought it up basically, but the cohesiveness, feeling invited, feeling like, okay, this is a family, you know.
Yeah.
Really the key word there is invitation.
That's true.
How do you keep your group cohesive?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that's going through your mind?
And I'll tell you, it's not so much of a struggle as it may appear to in the outside world. Again, I've only experienced this one band. Jason, he comes from a history of being with bands and groups. He knows what to say, what not to say, how to act and be that way. I'm just learning. And there's maybe some bumps in the road, but I've learned that constant communication is always good. What's happening? What's going on next? Jason reminds me what our next activity. So these are proactive things as a manager should do. But also, we've had opportunities in the past to go out together. So we're going to look at some other things to come out. So we went to one London Bell and hung out there once, and we saw some things. And we wanted to go to this other spot, just kind of as a group outside of just on the job. So this stuff really works to build that cohesive. Hey, we're friends, and I try to pride myself in being egoless. My bias, but I'm like, dude, tell me what I'm doing right, wrong, how can I do things better. The worst thing is to have a good idea and you don't share it. So I'm like, share the idea. Share if it makes sense to us, we're great. If it doesn't, then we just kind of toss it. But let's make sure it's all in for the band first.
Open communication.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Jason?
we have been very good about tossing around ideas, and all of the when we'll have conference calls or whatever, and people will just throw out ideas, and we could consider this and consider that, and nobody shoots anything down. I mean,
Not necessarily.
they're quite good at that, and I, I really appreciate that it's a safe place to just, we should start putting up billboard signs or something, and nobody says, oh, that's ridiculous. There's nothing like that. They're just like, all right, well, we'll get to that. I mean, what's your ideas? And we listen to that. It's so cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
So
I just learned, man, if you shut one person down in a harsh way, it's almost impossible for that person to bring up another idea. They learn. They touch the flame once, they go, I'm not doing that again. But we don't want that to happen. We want there to be a cohesive nature about it because it's a group, it's a team.
Right.
Yeah, we want to be teamwork.
Do you have children by chance, Jason?
I have children.
Okay, so y'all both, all of us have children here.
Yeah, we got some kids.
It's almost what you're saying there is how we will talk to our child.
Pretty much.
It's like do we shut our kids down when they're trying to get us an idea, or do we are open at least to the idea?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean, and giving them an opportunity to use their voice.
Yeah.
So that's what it seems like.
For sure,
what's
man.
going on with the group.
Man, if you can just respond with, hey, that's a good idea. I'm not sure if we're there just yet. But maybe there's something and this is all just, it's communication, right? That's how you do it. tactfulness goes a long way, man.
He says that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're there just yet.
That's right. I think we should do this.
We're going to get T-shirts.
Yeah.
that say that.
Grandiose.
I like that. I'm not sure. It's just,
Yeah, that's right.
That's good.
Yeah, but we do get there. I mean, because I think, man, these guys are dreamers. Like, just even join into this venture. It's a big dream. It's a big step.
Sure.
We haven't crossed this bridge in Utah. There's only a few people that are doing it in the world. So we're like, this is all new. So how do we approach this here and now with us? So different approach.
So, real quick, you got inspired from this idea in Dallas.
Yeah.
You know somebody's going to get inspired by it. You guys here in Utah, what do you do when you see another group do exactly what you're doing?
Here's what I do. I applaud them, man.
Yes.
I really do. If nothing else, we inspire to get other people inspired, man. I want to develop this line of T-shirts that says, be someone's inspiration.
Yes.
If I saw this from someone, why not have it be? I don't see it as a competition. I don't see it
Right.
as a negative deal. If anything, we join forces. It's all about bringing that part of life. And the money will come and all the other fame, that'll happen automatically. So, man, if anybody does this or feel inspired to do something very similar, I say, man, I applaud you guys. Go out there, make it happen, become famous, become awesome, because it's an inspiration to you. Maybe even improve upon it, make it better.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
I love that. Great answer, by the way.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
that. I got a question. So, I'm a corporate event planner. You know, fall's coming up. You know, wintertime is coming up, and I got a group of at least 20 employees. I need a band for my event.
Okay.
How do I get in contact with T3 Music?
Good question. Right now, we are in 2 spots. Got a phone number, of course. We also have Instagram, a good place to find us at T3 Music SLC. Reach out to that little social media platform. But, man, I'd love to work with anybody, so I would give my number directly. You tell me when to do that, but give my numbers.
Okay.
We want to reach out and do that really
Cool.
live. Yeah, so
We could do that. You got an email by chance?
email as well. Yep. got
You
that
want
too.
to shout it out for
Yep,
the station?
email is newtdg3@yahoo.com.
Nice.
That's the best one. And I've got a phone number and all that. But we'll reach out to us. We definitely will be a
Okay.
part of it.
You should see probably like 50 inquiries
That's
by
what
the
we
end of
want.
tonight. That's the
what we
goal.
want, man. I'm telling you.
So definitely book T3 Music. And then before we move on, I got another question, because I'm thinking about the youth here, the people that are dreamers just like us, and musicians like us as well too, musician mindset. What do you tell the youth today that maybe have a dream of either being a solo musician or maybe joining a band? Jason, what would you tell the youth today?
Oh, to do it, but to practice, in a word, and don't give up. And it's hard, and it takes a lot of hard daily work, but you gotta love that process,
Yes.
you know. And I've learned to love it over a lot of years, but it is hard, and I still have to. You know, I'm practicing every day and still go over and over and over this
And I
stuff.
tell you, that's the magic of it. And Jason, when he says he practices, again, you would think someone, even like a Michael Jordan, you said, I've done so many championships. He still practices.
Yeah.
This guy still is at the gym. He's still doing stuff, still practicing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that mentality.
Yes, I mean, it is a great thing, and I think it's one of the blessings of being a musician. But sometimes it's what we've lost as a society. I think is our patience. You know, we want it all, and we want it right now. And
Microwave
it looks
mentality.
like you just walked in and sat down and played this, and well, I know it looks that way. Gosh, thanks, but you don't know what's behind this.
Right.
You know, and it's been quite a road, you know, and my wife will tell you, and I've been so happy that she's attended a lot of these events, and for a long time she wasn't able to, and if we've got our kids and she's busy with stuff and whatever, but now she's been able to come to these performances, and she sees this, you know, she knows this perspective, and so she can understand that what has gone into, you know, that I can able to do this. But if you're an artist, if you're a musician, if you're, you know, aspiring to be anything like that, athlete, business executive, whatever, what the world does not need is another musician or another artist. But what the world does need is a really great musician, a really great artist, a really great athlete. And so you gotta just be really determined and somehow find your way of practicing every day and not letting anything distract you from that, and overcome, the temptation to just lose your focus and go on to something else, or not get that workout in or that practicing, and like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you can make excuses, you can have excuses, or you can have results, but you can't have both. Right?
Wow, that's something. That's
and
tough,
so, right? I mean,
wow, truth bomb right there.
right?
Yeah,
and no one more than me needs to hear it. And it's hard, but it's so important. But everything's hard. It's hard to be a kid these days, man. It's really hard. And I have a foundation for mental health that I have just started, and I just think that we need to. It's time that we send a different message.
Okay.
And what kids are, the messages they're getting are horrific, right?
Yeah,
but to send a message, hey, you are cool.
Yes.
You're valuable. We see you. We hear you. And what you do and who you are is important. And those skills that you have, we need them. We need them to be really good. So, and so that's, I kind of, personally, I think that the T3 idea, like we said, crossing those lines, combining these elements of music, even though there's just three of us, it represents that idea. Like, here's some stuff, we're doing it our way, but we're trying to elevate what we already have.
Yes. Right.
And cross some lines, cross, social lines, socioeconomic lines, cross, blend them, age, I mean,
Now, don't let Jason's talk about age fool you. We're all young at heart.
Yeah, like 30s. That's it.
I'm 27.
No, I was 26.
Don't tell me I'm older than y'all. No.
Yeah, we'll talk about age later on.
Yeah, not on this show. Not on this one.
We got experience. We know what we're looking for. I think we know what life has. And the funny thing is, our experience in this genre of just music in general, in life, helps us to be more cohesive, more gathering, more accepting. And I think that's what the world needs a lot more too. Is just accept people where they are. If they come with this element, great. Because there's too many people out there in the world trying to down where you are. And that's not. I don't do that. There's no need for that.
That's a good point.
Music is an inviting piece. We on the dance floor, we don't care who it is. Short, tall, black, white. Just just do your thing.
It don't matter.
Have fun with us.
Like you said, the music speaks to us. And
absolutely, it's a universal language.
Yes, exactly.
Universal.
Come on, man. Come on. Exactly right. So let's say you guys are playing a show, and I already know the answer to it, but it's so unique, man. I gotta hear you say it. I got a song request.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys can take song requests?
All day. That's what we do.
Yeah. Well, I've lived a lifetime of all my bands, and I have always said, like Buddy Rich always says, we don't take requests. Because with a live band, it's a different thing.
Right.
This is the first situation, the only situation that I would consider that. And, because we can,
right?
And we have done it, right?
Done it.
And we've done it at the spur of the moment, and this is a setting where, okay, that works, and that's a new thing for me.
It is. It is. So the magic of it, we do have a DJ that has computer.
Right.
The computer can access just about anything on the internet, and when he pulls out a song, we converse with the drummer. Drummer, can you play this one? He gives a nod or no nod.
Converse. He just puts that on. He just puts it up. Here this is.
It's great. The audience member of like, oh my gosh. Now the cool thing about this, there's a little advantage for us. We say, hey, by the way, we have a request list over here right next to the tip jar. Wow. Feel free to do that. There you go. And as the person comes up, it becomes almost a well, I'm writing this down. The least I could do is drop $1 or $2 in this tip.
Exactly.
So that's
Yeah.
that's and it works. So it works for the band, it works for them, and hopefully we get around to their song. And that's kind of how it plays. So it's very nice.
So on the jar, you guys have like what is it like?
I got a poster card of a QR code. Plus, if they have cash, you can put it in there too.
But I'm saying like you have like in small writing minimum $100.
Actually, I think they were going to put that on there.
Oh, really? That's a good idea. I mean, next step on that.
What's the saying? We're not there yet, but
There you go. Hey, we're not there yet, but soon.
Yeah.
Most people give $100.
Yeah, that's cool though. That is epic. I'm just thinking about the experience being with you guys and everything that y'all are saying. I just picture myself in the same arena, same space as y'all, and I feel myself having a great time.
Absolutely.
Just with no judgment and just literally just being myself. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it doesn't matter what I'm wearing, doesn't matter how you smell. Really, you got the music. You know what I mean?
You got the music.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the fun thing about this too, as much as I'm kind of the manager of the deal, these guys are all independent. And what I really want as a kind of a future extension of this dream is that if people see us perform, they go, "Oh my gosh, that drummer was so cool. Can I have him at my private function? Oh, that DJ was so great. Can I have him do? Or that MC was so good. Can she host my whatever that looks like?" I'm like, "Go guys!
Man,
this is another
brilliant.
platform for you guys to go and run." Another avenue of exposure, and that's where the MCs guys. Hey, by the way, for the past 20 minutes, you heard from T3, and by the way, we have Jason on the drum. Jason, give us a little something. Jason does a little deal.
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh my gosh, we had DJ X over here doing this deal. Cut us up something." And they then are their highlights, even for that brief little moment, for another deal. So,
Right.
yeah.
I love that. I love how you are unselfish about that.
Absolutely.
It's
man.
like, nah, you got to book us as a whole.
Yeah,
Or
I know.
It's like, no, you go take care of your business. You go take care of yours.
Absolutely.
We'll be
This is a
good.
platform for them to launch their own deals too.
Right.
So yeah. Now understand whether they're in the group, they're in the group. But if they need to, hey, by the way, Terry, this guy came up to me. He wants to do it. We got nothing going on that day. Go for it, man. You know,
Right.
yeah.
That's genius. I love that.
Right.
Well, cool. Is there any other words that y'all want to share with the audience out there? Maybe for upcoming musicians, upcoming managers. I would love y'all words of advice just for like the next generation coming up behind us.
Advice? Oh, let's see. I got a couple of good pieces of advice over there. I'm telling you.
Love it.
I always think when people say advice, you know, and I always think, remember the movie Forrest Gump, and you know, when they first went over to Vietnam, and there was Lieutenant Dan, and he said, "There's 2 standing orders in this platoon: take care of your feet, and don't do anything stupid."
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
So okay, I think that's beautiful. I don't know. I think that we need to remain, like Terry said, we need to be optimistic about the future. It's very, very easy, and especially recent events, all the stuff going on, it's very easy to be very scared and very pessimistic, and there is a lot to worry about. I feel optimistic about the future. I feel optimistic that music and art and all the performing arts will continue to flourish and grow, and I think there's a lot. Our best times and our best music and our best days are ahead of us.
I love that.
Yeah, 1,000%. No, I think that's good. The youth can be fearful, but they could also be stifled by those who are fearful. So
Yes.
they're afraid because the parents are afraid, and there's no need for that. In fact, be open-minded. So my dad was entrepreneur-minded. My brothers, oh my gosh, these guys, get them in a room and they'll talk your ear off about dreams and visions we've all had. And I think that's where it begins, you know. There's some people that are kind of stuck in the kind of a 9-to-5 mentality, and that's it. And that'd be good for some.
Yeah.
But it's not good for others. So people need to recognize, guys, you are special. You are having unique things going on that are different than anyone else. And that's okay. Be that way. Go out and share that. You know, I think about even days like today, which is kind of a Juneteenth celebration.
Right.
Me being from Texas, it's I thought it was a family holiday. That's all we ever did was it was just Juneteenth, and nobody else ever realized it. But Texas got it known first, of course, in Galveston area. We got up to Dallas, and we just had a party. So we're just getting together. But I think even those little insights, these earlier pioneers that kind of set the tone for us, they give us opportunities, guys. They give us opportunities to grow. And hey, now because we've done this, now you do this, whatever the next level is. Don't retrogress. Don't go backwards or rest on our laurels. You know, move forward in that and see what you can do. So, my advice, if anybody wants to be a manager type or a band member type, it's just to pursue it. I mean, go out there and try, and you'll fail. You'll bump your head a couple of times.
Yeah.
That's okay, but you have to bump your head a couple of times to get to it.
Exactly.
Understand that there's that golden thing at the end of the tunnel. Just keep bumping your head and go.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like take the L's not as a loss, but as a lesson.
Absolutely,
and just move
man.
forward.
That is so true.
Yeah,
very
I
much.
love that. Well, guys, I want to say thank y'all so much for joining today's show. I appreciate y'all time, of course. Before we leave, please shout out your Instagram handle one more time.
Absolutely. Where you can find us, T3 Music SLC on Instagram. That's T3 Music SLC. Feel free to reach out to me as a manager, and also on my email. It is NEWTDG3. So new TDG3@yahoo.com. I'd love to get back with you guys and have some cool things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Terry, Jason, I really appreciate you, gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for coming by. And for those listening live, thank y'all for listening. This is UtahMusicRadio.com, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Much love. Peace.
Much love.